Hey there. So a few months ago I started stalking players in stealth to see if they were going to end up in some real danger so that I could pop out and save them when they least expected it. I had to be very patient and selective when it came to finding the right moments. This warrior here was getting dangerously low, and since he has no defensives or heals, it was starting to look like the perfect moment for me to jump in. There you go. The hardest part was waiting until the last moment to ensure that I was actually saving people, and not just making it a tiny bit easier. It was pretty rare to find players who were actually overwhelmed. Most of the time, they had it under control. To actually save anyone, I had to look into the most dangerous leveling spots, places that are notorious for ending players. One such place, in my experience, was Stormguard Keep in Arathi Highlands. The special thing about this place is that there are mobs in stealth wandering around. So a player can easily pull more than they expected and end up in danger. I saw this shaman fighting a few mobs and decided to wait and see what happens. There it is. The rogue shows up, and suddenly the shaman's in trouble. Almost lost him there. I ran away and hid pretty quickly so I could follow him again. Shamans are a great target for this, by the way, because they have limited survivability, and so these situations happen to them often. Another stealthy is attracted to the fight. All of a sudden, it's getting close again. I'm just gonna pounce here because I don't want to get this guy killed. Not sure if I actually saved him there, but he seemed pretty happy. I learned that following mages around was a pretty good idea, since they normally pull pretty large packs. So if things go south, it can get pretty bad. This mage couldn't freeze all the murlocs he aggroed, for example, so I pulled a couple of stragglers back, just to clean up the pack for him. Not exactly a save, but it happens a lot. Another great place to look was near rares, since they get hunted down pretty quickly after they spawn. This rare, Rocklance, was perfect for our purposes. He normally spawns with 2 bodyguards, which means any solo player who attempts to kill him risks fighting 3 mobs at once. The fact that he's a rare also means that players will most likely risk their lives in order to get his loot. This hunter is only level 15, so I wasn't really sure if he could manage. I brushed by this bonfire, and it broke my stealth, so since my cover was blown, I decided to help out anyway. Even with a bit of health, he can go down pretty quickly if multiple enemies attack him at once. While my original plan involved a lot of stealth and waiting around for the right moment, it didn't always go that way. There were moments that I just stumbled upon, so I had to act quickly because someone was in trouble. This happened around the time I was recording the Tanaris video. I also didn't expect to be fighting off other players, but as usual, these things don't always go as planned. I logged in one time, and this is the first thing that I saw. I had to quickly decide if I was supposed to step in, and since the rogue is almost 20 levels higher than these two, I figured that foiling his gank attempt was the right thing to do. Later, also in Hillsbrad, I was stalking this warrior for a moment to see if he needed help, when a level 70 warlock just passed by and dotted the poor fella. I threw him a heal, and I'm guessing the warlock noticed, so he came right back, and I had to fight him off to give the warrior a chance to run. The warrior, however, didn't run. He jumped in like a champ to fight alongside me, even though we had no chance. I wasn't too surprised though, since Hillsbrad is usually full of conflict. Soon after, I was walking around and I stumbled upon this weird fight club. I ended up being the Strana's cornerman, since his enemy already had one. I even got into some trouble myself one of those days, when this hunter decided to shoot at me. I'm giving him a second to reconsider here. Alright then. Uh-oh. Since his pet seems pretty upset with me, I'm just gonna take him for a walk to burn off that excess energy. Time for a nap, buddy. Hunter eventually falls asleep because of my chest piece, which gives me the chance to finish him off with a nice shred. The coolest thing I saw while making this video has to be this. While I was in Ashenvale, I saw this dwarf hunter opening fire on 3 horde players. Since he picked the fight, I decided it wasn't fair for me to attack the lobbies, so I just let him play it out the way he intended. To be honest, it was starting to look like the Horde were the ones who needed help. When the players went down, it was my turn to step in to save him from the mob that he'd pulled. That was perfect. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Guess I'll catch you later.